Your future prospects are researching you right now. They're comparing options, reading content, and building their shortlist. The question is, are you on it? Most MedTech companies don't even know this is happening until it's way too late. So today, we're going to give you 7 warning signs that your customers are researching without you, and more importantly, what you can do about each one.
Number 7, your website traffic is low, but your competitors isn't. If your website isn't getting traffic, but your competitors are, that's telling you something really important. Buyers are researching in your space, they're just not finding you. They're finding someone else. And you can actually check this. Tools like SEMrush and Ahrefs will show you estimated traffic to your competitors' websites compared to yours. If they're getting significantly more visits, that tells you where your buyers are going. You can also search for the questions your buyers would typically ask and see who's showing up in both traditional search and AI answers. Tools like Searchable and HubSpot's AEO Toolkit will show you whether AI engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini are mentioning your competitors instead of you. And if they are, that's your gap. And it's usually because your website doesn't have the content that answers the questions your buyers are really asking, especially with the rise of answer engine optimization or AEO. If you're not showing up in search results, and more importantly now, if you're not being referenced by AI tools and chatbots, you're invisible during that research phase.
The fix here is to start creating content that actually answers the real questions your buyers have. It could be answering the questions they're asking AI bots online, or those they're asking directly to your sales team. Either way, the content on your website needs to help visitors answer the issues, fears, and concerns about adopting your technology, and be structured in a way that is easy for bots and AI engines to find. That is what will get you found. So here's number 6. You're not getting inbound inquiries. If your phone isn't ringing and your inbox is quiet, it's not necessarily because nobody needs your product. It's because they're finding what they need somewhere else. Companies that share information openly online build trust with their buyers, and when their device is a good fit, more often than not, will get the first point of contact. If you're not providing the right information about your device online, it's likely one of the reasons your inbound inquiries are slower than you'd like. The problem is, the inquiries are still happening, but unfortunately, they're happening with your competitor instead.
This is where content becomes a genuine sales tool. If your website, your LinkedIn, your YouTube channel is answering their key questions before they even pick up the phone, you're the one they call. It's as simple as that.
So here's number 5 and my favorite. Your sales team are answering the same questions all the time. This is a big one and we see it constantly. If your sales team is spending the first 20 minutes of every meeting explaining the basics, who you are, what you do, how it works, that's a clear sign that your content isn't doing its job at all. Those questions should be answered before each meeting. When content handles the fundamentals, your sales team can skip straight to the conversations that actually matter, the buyer's specific problem and how you solve it.
We've seen this firsthand. When the right content exists at the right stage of the buyer's journey, sales calls go from introductory to strategic. The whole dynamic changes. Your team has more productive conversations and the buyer feels like you already understand them. When we work with companies, the goal is always the same. Change the first question asked by your customer from "what do you do?" to "when can I start?" That is the power of content when used well.
Number 4, your prospects go quiet just after the first meeting. You have a great first meeting, they seem genuinely interested, then nothing, they go quiet. You follow up once, you follow up twice, 3 times, but no response. This usually means they're researching, but unfortunately, they're doing it without you. They've gone back to Google, maybe back to LinkedIn, and back to your competitors' content. And if your competitors are answering the questions your buyer has after that first meeting, you've lost the momentum.
The fix is having content you can send between your meetings. Guides, case studies, videos that answer the questions you know they're going to have at that stage. It keeps the conversation going even when you're not in the room, and it stops them from going elsewhere to find answers.
Number 3, your buyers know more about your competitors than you'd expect. If a buyer comes to a meeting and references your competitor's case study, or maybe quotes a stat from their website, or even mentions content they've seen from them, that tells you exactly where they've been spending their research time. And unfortunately, it wasn't with you.
You want to be the company they're quoting. You want your case studies, your frameworks, your content to be the reference point in those conversations. That only happens if you're creating it and making it easy to find.
So here's number 2. Your deals are taking way longer than you think they should. If your sales cycle is dragging, it's often because your buyers don't have the right information they need to make the decision confidently. They're stuck in the consideration phase because nobody's given them what they need to actually move forward. When content does the heavy lifting up front, buyers arrive at their decision way faster. They've already answered their own questions and they've already built confidence in your product. The sales cycle compresses because the content has done the work before the conversation even starts.
And interestingly, this is something we've measured ourselves. We mapped out every stage of our sales process, identified the common questions at each stage, and then created content to answer them. It eliminated an entire meeting from our sales process, reduced the time needed by our team by close to 50%, and increased our conversion rates. That's the kind of impact this has.
And finally, number 1, the biggest sign of them all. You're losing deals you didn't even know were there. You find out a deal went to a competitor and you didn't even know you were being considered. The buyer researched, compared, decided, and chose someone else, all without you ever being contacted. This is the real cost of not being part of the research phase. You're not losing on product, you're not losing on price, you're losing because you weren't even there. Your content wasn't answering the questions and somebody else's was.
And that is exactly what this series is about. Making sure you're there, making sure your content is doing the work so that when a buyer is ready to make a decision, you're already on the shortlist, not scrambling to get on it.
So if you recognize any of those 7 signs, the good news is they're all fixable. And it starts with understanding what your buyer actually needs to see at each stage of their journey and making sure that content exists. With the rise of AEO, this has never been more urgent. Companies who embrace this are going to be the ones that win.
In our next video, we're talking about features versus outcomes. Most MedTech companies lead with specs. We'll show you why leading with the outcomes your buyer cares about is what actually closes deals. If you don't want to miss any future videos, subscribe to the channel.
And drop us a comment and tell us which of these 7 signs hit the hardest for you.